Hi, Star. Hi, everybody. First thing, it is February 22nd, 2026, about 10:55 in the morning Central Time. Please take note of the banner running underneath. Nobody has my permission to rebroadcast or simulbroadcast this live stream. Should anyone decide to and use my content for their own purposes, there will be consequences. So nobody has my permission to take my content and put it on their own channel. No one has permission. I will call it a copyright infringement and do what needs to be done. Yes. So yeah. Hi, Patty, Star, Joe. Yes. And yeah. So to get back to the normal things. Yeah, I am a clairvoyant, clairaudient. So please do your own research, form your own opinions. I am going to drop down the link in case anyone does have any questions or concerns. Hi, Mendocino. Just a reminder, no one has permission to put my video up on their own channel or to simulbroadcast. So it's like, hey, it's called, folks, no, you cannot put your stuff, steal my content. Patty, yeah, I covered it last week. What they need to do is, I keep getting that there was somebody that Savannah wasn't too nice to and kind of ruined the career of. Hi, Gay. Hi, Solarian. One of the production staff of the program that Savannah Guthrie was on, I keep getting it was somebody that she caused the destruction of their career, and this is retaliation for what she did to somebody who used to work over at NBC on that morning show. And there's a connection there. So that's what's going to happen. Okay. Now, now, yeah. Let me drop the link in. Okay. In case anybody wants to jump in at any time. I know I started, most of you know, I take notes throughout the week, and it's like, yeah, it's all different colors of ink on my notepads. So, yeah, this past Wednesday, it was Ash Wednesday for the Christian community, for the Roman Catholic community. It's the first day of Lent, 40 days before Easter. And ironically, this year, according to stupid calendars, it was also the kickoff of Ramadan. Yeah, Ramadan is one of those 5-time-a-day idiots. They're supposed to fast all day, and then they can only eat or drink after sundown. Well, basically what they do is they sleep during the daylight hours and party all night. So I'm like, hey, you know what? If anyone lives in a neighborhood where you see these idiots, start barbecuing ribs. Yeah, if you can, get your smokers out. I mean, your barbecue smokers. Toss them out in their backyard and start smoking brisket, back ribs, chicken. Start cooking outside. Pull up, especially earlier this week here in Chicago, we had some days where I was looking out the window and I saw people running out there in shorts in February. So, yeah, it's kind of like time to get the grills out, barbecue grills and start cooking outside. Hi, Susie. Definitely. And yeah, over on X, yeah, it's Glinda the Good Four. That's how you find me over on X. And let's put it this way. I did put a comment, and some people are now reposting it pertaining to there's a lot of shit happening here in Illinois. But I put a question up saying, hey, when is ICE going to investigate that Islamic center that's right across the street from Willowbrook High School in Villa Park? And when are they going to start doing some thorough investigations? Because there are teenage girls all over Illinois, Minnesota, anywhere there's a huge bunch of these Islamic idiots. These guys go up to them, these teenage boys go up to them at the high school sports events like football games, basketball, etc. And they go up to these American girls and say, hey, we're having a party over at Ahmed's house or Farouk's house or whatever. After the game, why don't you come on over? So yeah, a handful of girls will go over to so-and-so's house expecting a party. But when they arrive, they don't realize it, but then they are turned into the party favor. Yeah, they're dragged out and each boy gets to make their deposit into them. When will they wake up? Smell the coffee, parents. And of course, the girls are so embarrassed that they don't tell anybody. But yeah, it's bullshit what they're doing. We got to wake up, people, and smell the coffee. Teach these girls, hey, these guys are not safe. We have to get them out in order to protect the young women of the United States. And of course, it's Ramadan. So make sure it's Lent, so it's time to do something good. So head down to your local doggy shelter. Go rescue a puppy or two, a doggy or two. And yeah, take them for a walk, and especially people need to walk down and walk around your neighborhood mosque or raghead's house, Islamic idiot's house. And remember that the green space between the sidewalk and the street, that parkway, technically, if you read your building code and all that stuff, your doggies can poop there. And you really don't have to pick it up. You can leave the poop because that parkway between the sidewalk and street it's something like you have to look for it, but it's basically your local community has jurisdiction over that area. Okay? People don't really own it. It's actually under the control of the local town. So people go rescue some doggies. The bigger, the better. And yeah, parents. And you know what? You got girls in high school because of the stress and all the shit that's hitting the town. I would guess that it'd be very easy to find a local doctor who would write a letter stating that your daughter needs a emotional support puppy to be with her at all times. Go and get your daughters the paperwork so they can have a little puppy dog, their doggy, with them 24/7, including school. It's a matter of it's a matter of protection of your daughter. It's a matter of protecting women across America, the United States. A reasonable doctor will provide you with the letter stating You have to have an emotional support doggy. Go get them. And that way you can take them anywhere. And any of these idiots, any of these women walking around from their wardrobe from Omar the tent maker, can't say a damn thing. And you know what? You can have the doggy trained that if anyone lays a hand on you, women, the doggy can, hey, automatically go, bye. And he's protecting his. Doggy is protecting. It's human. I mean, this is something that we need to do. Okay? Big time. And yeah. Now, some of the big shit that else has happened this week. Yeah, we all saw the news about what happened to Prince Andrew. How do I put this? Hi, Lady of the Lake. Yeah, it was intentionally done on Andrew's birthday. He turned 65 this past week. And I keep getting that KC3 was in on it because Andrew actually has the dirt on his brother. And we know that Charles is basically, he's making a mess out of the entire Commonwealth. He had Charles KC3 has the authority to basically to remove all the all the 5-time-a-day idiots out of the Commonwealth, out of England, out of Great Britain, the UK. But he refuses to do it because Chucky, KC3, quietly violated his oath of office that he swore during his coronation. KC3 is basically has converted to being a 5-time-a-day idiot. Andrew has the dirt. Andrew has the proof. So Charles did it to make Andy less credible. He did this on purpose on his birthday. That was his snarky birthday present to his brother. And Charles is sweating bullets. KC3 and Cammy are sweating bullets because Andy does have all the dirt. And they keep saying, oh, it was Andrew who connected Rachel to Henry. No. They're thinking of the wrong person. You see, KC3 KC3 is trying to turn the UK, but it's not going to happen. And like I said, Andrew has the dirt on it. And yeah, Chucky was worried about because Henry kept making messes out of his relationship. So you see his KC3's stepkids run around in some questionable circles. So I think it was through the Camilla connection that KC3, through quiet means, helped Rachel to get her claws into Henry. That's why KC3 was so fast and tolerated the fact that Rachel didn't have any of her own family at the wedding. And to jump in and say, oh, I'll walk you down the aisle. It wasn't Andrew who was involved in the setting up of Rachel and Henry. It was KC3. It was his father setting him up for failure. And KC3 knows all the crap, all the unethical behavior that Rachel has been doing. It's going to come out, and Andy has the information that proves it all. Now, okay, he was arrested, taken in, did all the questioning stuff, and then he was allowed to go back, leave custody. Well, now that he's officially been arrested, the American judicial system can now send a notice over to the embassy saying, hey, we need him to come over and testify about the JE stuff. So the Trump admin is now going to have Andy extradited from England to here in the US. Okay? Where once Andy gets over here to the US, he is going to sing like a canary. And because Andy is singing like a canary, it won't be safe for him to go back to England, to go back to the UK. So, in order to protect him, because Andy holds so much information, don't be surprised if Donald offers him true political asylum here in the United States. It'll be, and he'll, most likely, I keep getting Norfolk. Andy will be down by Norfolk, Virginia, which is a big naval base. And Donald will chat with him, and they'll utilize his experience of being a chopper pilot in actual military conflict. He'll be asked to help train some of the chopper pilots here in the US Navy, Marines, Air Force, Army, because he has the combat experience. And Andy will be allowed to go around to our different military bases here in the US to answer questions and help train chopper pilots in the US military. That will be part of his agreement for amnesty, asylum here in the US. And yeah, he'll be able to get to Lexington to check on the horses because he likes to ride. So it'll be Norfolk, around Norfolk, Virginia. And it'll be on a nice piece of property where he can have his horse and his dogs. And people laugh, they go, about that teddy bear collection. Well, people don't realize that all sorts of cool stuff can be stored inside of a teddy bear. There's a way to sew it where you can actually pull a seam apart and you can put things in and out. It's called hiding things in plain sight. So, now, okay. People are going over, okay, now we've got some of these criminal uh, these idiots that are sitting on the Supreme Court of the United States. Anyone who's been watching me for a while knows knows I have zero tolerance for a lot of shit. And one of them is, okay, you know that I have the dirt on Jeffrey Irving Cummins. Yeah, he was my attorney when I had my lawsuit going on, and he basically shafted me, basically screwed up the case so he could get his federal magistrate position. So now he's on the Seventh Circuit Court. Well, he did a lot of legal malfeasance, malpractice. But because of Illinois being a blue state, everyone's chicken shit. They're not going to go after a fellow Democrat, especially one who's tight with O'Bean brain, Barry Soetoro and him. You know, Jeffrey Irving Cummings, ICE, investigate his wife. His wife is from a Caribbean island. Make sure her immigration paperwork has been properly filed. But, okay, so we've got these Supreme Court justices that are trying to screw over the USA because they're saying, oh, Donald can't do the tariffs. Well, by their behavior, Donald can say, okay, you don't want me to, you're saying we can't have tariffs on their stuff coming into the US? Well, Donald is now going to say, F you. Nobody can import those goods. The stuff from those companies made over in Europe and Asia can't be brought into the United States. You're going to have to manufacture those items here. So those Supreme Court justices, duh, idiots, how many of your wives are purchasing cosmetics that are made in Germany? Yeah, women. Take a look. When you go and buy a new eyeliner, where was it made? Germany. Lots of your cosmetics. Most cosmetics are manufactured in Europe, and your perfumes and your fine wines, your champagne and all that stuff. Donald said, we can't charge a tariff on it. Then sorry, can't be brought into the US. Cannot be imported for sale. So the Supreme Court justices had better start waking up and realize how many things they're no longer going to purchase, be able to. Okay? Now, any person who has a judicial seat, if they're not working to make the USA great, they need to be disbarred and held on charges of treason. And this is something that's going to start kicking off. Many judges are going to be investigated. And there will be numerous people being charged with treason against the USA. People who have defended the 5-time-a-day idiots that have invaded the United States. So let's put it this way. Most politicians up in Minnesota are going to be held on charges of treason. About 10 years ago, I was down in Texas working on something, and I had to make some calls because of something, and I ended up getting the runaround from different government agencies. So I said, F this noise, I'm calling the governor's office. And it'll be, because I scream bloody murder enough at Abbott's office, I go, what do I have to do? Drive up to Austin and scream bloody murder in his office building? And they're like, oh my gosh. Well, it got settled because I screamed bloody murder enough. But everywhere there's a large population of the 5-time-a-day idiots. Any politician that agrees to subsidize them needs to be charged with treason. And right now here in Illinois, yeah, Baboon Johnson and Pigster both need to be arrested. I'll get to your question in a moment, Mendocino girl. Something that people don't realize. Okay, I'm going back decades when I was in college. And I was working on my degree at Governor State University. And one of the guys I was going to school with that I hung out with had the last name of Hallis. Yeah, George Hallis owned the Chicago Bears, and now his grandson, who goes by the last name of McCaskey, now runs the Bears. But George Hallis, there were other male members of the family that had the last name Hallis and have passed it down to theirs. And the guy I went to school with, he's like, yeah, he goes, I'm a nephew of Papa Bear. He goes, and they call me Baby Bear because he was like the first male left to carry the name Hallis again in decades. He goes, yeah, he goes, they call me, he goes, my nickname in the family is Baby Bear. And because we got to be good friends, we hung out a lot and this and that. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh, come on. It's like, I got tickets for one of the games. I mean, we started school in August, and it's like, hey, I got tickets for the preseason game. Let's all go Sunday afternoon. We're like, oh, okay, a bunch of us. And got to hang out with a bunch of, I mean, I'm in college, okay? And I got to meet my friends' family. And what people don't realize is that the family that is in charge of the Chicago Bears, they think very conservatively. In fact, they adored my distant cousin, Jim Thompson, when he was governor. They thought he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. They even liked Edgar as governor. But you see, the family that runs the Bears organization is conservative and has zero tolerance for someone who is supporting the destruction of America. So, folks, if we want to keep the Chicago Bears, because they're going to be the Indiana Bears, you need to have, hi, Renee. You need to have not only Baboon Johnson resign from office, and you need to appoint a conservative thinking new mayor of Chicago. Give her second ward alderman Brian Hopkins, because he was basically raised south suburban Republican. He's a dino. Yeah, get rid of Baboon. Toss Hopkins in. Get rid of, and Pritzker, you need to resign. And same with that Juju Stratton, who's another fucking asshole idiot. I mean, how much fraudulent stuff did she file during COVID? Yeah, we need to have every single Democrat resign from office, replaced with a Republican. That's how the Bears will stay in Illinois. But until that happens, they're going to be the Indiana Bears. Until Illinois flips red completely from the Wisconsin border all the way down to the little tip that borders Arkansas, Missouri. You got it. All the way down. It has to be red entirely. That's the only way the Bears will stay in Illinois, because the family is conservative. Okie doke. Alito is basically he's going to have to. He's going to ride it out for as long as humanly possible, but he will not be running for re-election. He'll sit out. He'll run his term out until his replacement is named, and he'll be there until his replacement is sworn in. Okie doke. Yeah, we know every single. Let's put it this way: Kwame Raoul. Ages ago, yeah, it's like when I was picture car coordinator. Yeah, I had to get a car for the Bud Billiken parade because they wanted some of the original Negro black baseball players were going to ride in it. And who was there? But he was basically a nobody back then. And yeah, this guy Kwame Raoul kept hitting on me, and I'm like, get away! And at that time I did have a ring on my hand. I'm like, stay away, fool! No, not interested. He goes, well, I can make sure that you don't have anything happen to you during the parade. I'll protect you. And I'm like, you're a disgusting piece of shit. So anyone who's on the Democrat ticket needs to be removed out of Illinois. Yeah, it's like, if we don't be surprised if Blackhawks pull out of Illinois. And believe it or not, the Wirtz family, they're conservatives also. They might say, hey, build a skating rink. We'll move the Bears and the Bulls across to Indiana also. We might lose all our professional teams until Illinois flips red. Oh, it's ridiculous. Okay? Yeah, big time. No, yes. Some other crazy things that's going on. And something I want to ask, I don't know if she's watching or what's going on. But yeah, okay, I am a moderator on Avid Gardener. And she had a premiere earlier today. And while I was keeping an eye on the chat log, I've caught snippets of her channel's content. But she made a statement thinking that when David Edward VIII abdicated, that was a big mistake. He should have stayed as king. Well, Denise, you don't know your history. Go back and read the truth and stuff that was found out by the American military. They found the documents that Hitler's admin had on David Windsor, Duke of Windsor, and the plans that he was actually in communication with Adolf prior to him while he was still Prince of Wales. He was in communication with Adolf, and they were coming up with a game plan. And in order to make sure that he would not be able to remain on the throne, the powers that be, the agencies that were protecting the UK and America, realized that that the Duke of Windsor had certain persuasions, and that's why they put Wallace. They told her, oh, you'll just have to be his mistress. She said, I didn't anticipate having to lose my marriage. That wasn't in the agreement. But yes, she was placed. Um, and as his distraction, so he would have to be forced to abdicate. So otherwise, hey, a lot of people would be speaking German right now, and there wouldn't be a KC3. Okay? Yeah, it was. And they would have made sure that it would have been either one of the kids, one of the boys from the Duke of Kent or the Duke of Gloucester would have been the king. Huey, too, would never have been on the throne. It would have been one of the Gloucesters or Kents. Okie doke. Chamberlain was following the bullshit that Eddie VIII, Duke of Windsor, while he was still king, had laid down. He was trapped. Yeah, Chamberlain was trapped into following the agreement that David Windsor and Adolf cooked up between the two of them. That's what really went down. And people keep forgetting that Winston Churchill knew his stuff. So did Uncle Dickie, Lord Mountbatten, and Philip. You noticed, while Philip was still around, they only were allowing so many of the shitheads into the UK because Philip was saying, no, we saw what they did. We saw the shit that went down during the partition. Okay? People need to go back and read up on it. Why did it happen? Because of what the 5-time-a-day idiots were doing to good Hindu women. Okay? Start digging it up. It's all going to come to light. Okay? Now, okay, yeah, I know I have, let me pop this down in case anybody wants to jump in, has questions. No problem, Gay. I know you. When you see gasoline at a good price, go for it. Um, over this past week, yeah, it's like I started coming down with a sinus infection, so I had to go deal with some doctors. And first I went over to the walking clinic that's walking distance from where I live, and ended up dealing with a nurse practitioner. Basically, didn't know her butt from a hole in the ground, because when people who are living with RSD, CRPS, traditional, once you've had that diagnosis, all traditional or government guidelines for treatment go out the window. And trying to let this little thing know, this little punk nurse practitioner, no, I'm coming in here because I know I need this. She goes, well, it's against guidelines to give antibiotics for a sinus infection. And I looked at her and I go, you don't know what you're talking about. Guidelines go out the window for people who live with CRPS. Well, she didn't like that. She didn't like me informing her of something. She goes, you're not a medical professional. I am. I'm like, you made a big mistake. So then I went down to the ER because, okay, thinking, and I got an ER doc there. No, it's against guidelines. I go, you are making a big mistake because you don't know what you're talking about. People like me, I'm a special needs patient because I have a rare condition. And he dropped the ball. Well, let's put it this way. after this happened, I started talking to some friends of mine, and they said, you know what? It's time to, because in one day you dealt with two medical professionals who didn't know their ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to working with treating patients with CRPS. It's time to start a nonprofit to raise awareness and to educate medical personnel on this crazy condition. So yeah, if you look in the description box, I've got the Venmo and the PayPal and the Buy Me a Coffee. And yeah, they don't understand the pain conditions and the sensitivity. So I talked to a friend of mine, and we're going to start up. We're starting the paperwork to create a nonprofit organization for awareness and information to educate medical personnel, but also for people who are living with this crazy thing. Sometimes you need assistance with something like help getting your house clean, like being able to have a deep cleaning crew come in once a month and do a deep clean. Or you have to go in for procedures, and you have to have somebody there waiting to drive you there and take you home. So for awareness and to help out people who are living with this crazy thing. So for those who watch this, and I know there's a couple of dozen who are watching it live right now, but I know that my videos, everybody's watches after the fact. Please, if you can, I live on disability, and I am on, yeah, it's like, if we can help out to get the paperwork started. I already have friends who are musicians who are willing to do a benefit show, so we can get funds available to go help people. And a friend of mine, his brother owns a venue that he goes, yeah, we'll host it. Host the fundraiser. But we need to get the government paperwork process first, and we need some financial assistance doing that. So if anyone can help us, whoever is watching this at a later point in time, if you can, let me know, and we'll get it. I'll provide the receipts for everybody. Okay. So we've already got a name for it. I can't say it right now because we don't want it poached by certain people. And I was talking to one of the other gals, and she's like, it's tough. People don't realize what you're living through, and just something silly can throw you down in tears of pain. It's you ready? Yeah, we've got to work together to make this chronic illness awareness, and people who work together on it. We need to pull together and put together a group to help with assistance. I'm not saying we're going to be able to support anybody 25/8, but provide help within reason. That's what we want to be able to do. And even if it means every once in a while somebody saying, hey, I just need a couple hours to myself. Yeah, helping for a hospice person to come in, so the primary caretaker can maybe, hey, yeah, we're sending over a hospice person for you on late Saturday afternoon, and we're handing you an envelope with containing a tickets and a gift certificate for your local movie theater. Just go get out of the house for a few hours, go watch a movie on the big screen with your popcorn and soda, and then you can go back home. and there will have been someone there keeping an eye on things. Yeah, it's like the people doing caretaking. Yeah, you need a break every once in a while, even if it's just being able to go to the movies and not have to worry because somebody is there taking care. Somebody is at the house keeping an eye on things. But that's what I've got going for today. But yeah, Donald is for all the companies that these stupid Supreme Court justices said, no, you can't charge tariffs on. They're going to be sweating bullets because you know what? I wonder what kind of cars they're driving because they won't be able to get parts. Those justices, their wives will be yelling at them because they can no longer purchase their cosmetics or perfume. So these justices just screwed themselves big time. They're going to have every single female in their family bitching them out because they can no longer buy their expensive cosmetics or perfume or handbags or shoes. Dudes, no tariffs? Your families are going to be blaming it all on you. Big mistake. Donald's going to tell them, hey, sorry. If I can't charge a tariff, those products are no longer going to be allowed to come into the U.S. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Yeah. Maybe you should go back and read the economic stats. What's his face? Julian Fellows. Yes, his second series called The Gilded Age. Back then, 1890s through basically 1914, we didn't have income tax. America was solvent because we had tariffs. That's why they called it the Gilded Age. America was doing great because instead of taxes, there were tariffs. Time to bring it back and to revert back a lot to what America was doing way back when, more than a century ago, especially for idiots who want to come here from other countries. Part of the agreement for you to live within the United States, you have to learn to speak, read, and write American English. And if you refuse to do it, you are not eligible to stay within the United States. And this is what's going to go down very quickly. And these kids aren't speaking it. You know the parents refuse to. Deportation, here you come. Go on back. And of course, the people keep forgetting that it's the agenda of the 5-time-a-day idiots to eliminate all of us. And they're forgetting that, hey, take a look what's going on all over the African continent. That's not making it here, not making it onto mainstream news. But it's time that it was. Yeah. There are college kids that can't read because it's like they pass and just so they don't have to repeat a grade. Folks, exactly. Take a look. It's all going to blow up. But those of you who stay on the right side of things will be okay. We will be okay, and we have to stand firm. And please, we know we're all supposed to give up something for Lent. Well, since we're giving up little luxuries, please go rescue a puppy dog and take it on lots of long walks. And folks, make sure you barbecue a lot outside during the daylight hours. We have to stand up and let these idiots know we will not be overrun by their evil ways. Okay, thank you everybody who's watching. And in the description box are the ways to help support the channel, and also email address if anyone wants to schedule a reading or something. Just let me know, and we'll get things done. So everyone, thank you for watching today. Have a good week, and don't forget Tuesday night is the State of the Union address, so you might pop up on Wednesday morning with my comments. So we'll catch you all later. Everyone have a great one. Thank you. Bye-bye.